Namaste everyone. Today I'm going to talk about Aries moon, and I've had a lot of requests about people wanting me to make a video on Aries moon, and I guess I have a lot of people who have Aries moon who watch my videos, and also I happen to know a lot of people with Aries moon. Now I was trying to look for the right words and the right analogies to describe the Aries moon, because sometimes when you do a video for every single moon, it kind of gets repetitive, and sometimes it could reflect the sun sign itself, and then it has no purpose to making a video in the first place. So I started to look at the Kabbalah during these days, and I tried to find a way to express as best as I can how I see the Aries moon. Okay, and I have friends that have had the Aries moon, and they have been very naive people. Okay, their reactions to things. Now, the way I would describe this is that, for example, if they see something happening, right? For example, a fire in a house, they would probably act in a bold way, but sometimes would probably get into a lot of trouble without realizing, that you could get burned with fire. Okay, so they could be a little bit overreactive and maybe do something crazy. Now, I also seen this scenario when they are faced with some sort of emotions that they can't control. Okay, and this is very true with Aries moon, because they overreact to things, all right, without even being too dramatic, but they do. They react very dramatic to things. And the best way I could describe this is that if they're having a conversation with someone, and that person makes them mad, or maybe it seems like that person to them, maybe it seems that that person is crossing the line with them, it could get to the point where an Aries moon person could get physical with that person. Okay, and I've actually seen this. I've seen a girl get physical with another girl that she couldn't get her way with, and it was just something so simple, but yet they took that aggression physically. So Aries is the first fire sign, okay, and it's very intense, it's cardinal, and they tend to exercise their energy in a physical way. So I would see why they would react in a physical way when it comes to when they feel like something about them is being threatened. Okay, sometimes they get a little bit more verbal, and they could get loud, okay, and they could immediately disagree without even thinking. And now this goes back to polarity. I want to explain what polarity is. If you look at the Kabbalah, you have the pillar of mercy and you have the pillar of severity, and these pillars, they represent the human consciousness of how it could be extreme to one way or the other. And the ideal way of being is to walk in the middle, okay, not to be too much of something. And that's what Aries is and Libra is. If you look at the opposite sign of Aries, is Libra. Okay, and Libra is a very passive sign. It doesn't take action because it's thinking. And if you see in the tarot cards, the Two of Swords, which is like this, what it symbolizes is peace, all right? And that is a state of mind where Libra is, idle, and it's not really doing anything. It's just thinking. It has a blindfold. It's a lady with a blindfold. But if you look at the opposite of that, which is Dominion, which is the Two of Wands, is ruled by Mars and Aries, that's taking action, okay, without even thinking. And both are needed. Both are needed for equilibrium. You do need to think before you react, and you do need to act after you think, okay? And that's why a lot of people say, well, Libras are very passive, because they lack that fire. They lack the Aries fire. And Aries tend to be a little bit more impulsive because they lack the thinking of Libra. So you have to balance that out. So what I say to people that have moon in Aries is that think before you react. Take that, advice from Libra. Take a little bit of that Libra moon and incorporate it into your psyche. Okay, and before you react, learn and start exercising patience and listening. Okay, that's a tip for Aries moon. So I hope you enjoyed this video.